Hello YouTubers, I'm back with another video of Cars, the Junior Novelization in 2006, adapted by Lisa Papadimitriou. This time I'm going to read chapters 5 and 6. Chapter 5. McQueen kept Mac company for a short while until it fell asleep. Mac traveled the endless miles alone. The lines dividing the lanes rolled like ribbons under his tires, and soon he felt his headlights drooping. Mac was desperately trying to shake himself awake when a group of fleshy hot rods rolled up beside him. Boost, the leader, noticed that Mac was falling asleep and decided to have some fun. "We got ourselves a nutter," he told the other cars. DJ, a car with enormous speakers, put on some soothing music. "Pretty music," Max said sleepily. He let out a huge yawn, and the next morning he was snoring as he rolled forward. "Yo, Wingo!" Boost called as he bumped Mac toward his friend. "Lane change, man. Right back at ya, Wingo," the car with the tall spoiler said as he booted Mac back across the highway. But Boost swerved out of the way, allowing Mac to bump onto the shoulder of the road. "Oops, I missed," Boost said and the terrible hot rocks cracked up. Inside McQueen's trailer, the jostling caused the trophy to slip off the shelf. It hit the lift control button, and the back door fell open. McQueen rolled to the lip of the ramp as Max, still fast asleep and moving forward, veered back onto the highway. Suddenly, Snot Rod, an orange hot rod, felt a sneeze coming on. "He's gonna blow!" Wingo cried. "Achoo!" Snot Rod sneezed, sending a burst of flame from his tailpipe. Max swerved as he was startled awake. "Gesundheit!" he said automatically. Then he realized where he was. "Whoa! One should never drive while drowsy." He didn't know that in the commotion, McQueen has been shaken off the ramp. Mac came driving into the night, leaving McQueen alone on the highway. And, "Honk! Get out of the way!" cried a car as he sped around the sleeping McQueen, who had just noticed into an oncoming traffic. "You're going the wrong way! Ah!" Cars honked and shouted as they veered to avoid McQueen. "Mac!" McQueen hollered as he bolted awake, swerving just in time to avoid an oncoming truck. Turning sharply, McQueen dodged through the traffic after his trailer, who still hadn't noticed that race car was missing. But McQueen couldn't see where it was going. Race cars drove only on tracks, and the track was always lit up, so McQueen didn't have real headlights. "Mac! Mac! Mac!" he cried momentarily, losing sight of the truck. "Mac, wait for me!" But Mac was too far ahead. He couldn't hear McQueen. McQueen was gaining ground. He followed the truck's taillights as if he was headed to an off-road ramp. Leaving the highway for a rural road, the trailer barreled over some train tracks. McQueen sped up and jumped the crossing a millisecond before a train came through, crashing him. But when McQueen pulled up beside the truck, he made a horrible discovery. The truck he'd been following wasn't Mac at all. "Turn on your lights, you moron!" the truck yelled at McQueen. Mac, McQueen whispered to himself as the truck drove away. So, if the truck wasn't Mac, where could Mac be? The interstate! The interstate, McQueen said. Turning, he spotted some lights toward them at top speed. Not realizing that he was heading down the winding old Route 66, not the interstate. A siren blasted through the red night air, and McQueen saw red and blue flashing lights. A police car cruiser. Maybe you can help me, McQueen said, slowing down. But the police cruiser was old, and he had to chase a sleek young race car in use. Kablam! He backfired. He's shooting at me! McQueen said, panicking and putting the pedal to the metal. Why is he shooting at me? Boom, boom, kablam! I haven't gone this fast in years, the sheriff said to himself as he sped after McQueen. I'm gonna blow a gasket or something. Thinking he was being gunned down, McQueen swerved snake-like to avoid the blast. What in the blue blazes? Cried the sheriff. Crazy hot rider. McQueen and the sheriff belled toward the sleepy little town of Radiator Springs. It was perfect quiet there, and the locals were all gathered at Flo's VA Cafe, looking up at the town's lone traffic light. I'm telling you, man, said Fillmore. An engine Volkswagen transport bus. Every third blank is slower. An old army jeep named Sarge gave Fillmore a dubious look. The 60s weren't good, were they? Blam! Blam! Kablam! Tires squealed and siren wailed, and the siren wailed as McQueen tore down with the sheriff right on his bumper. As McQueen approached the traffic light, he got his first real look at Radiator Springs. What? The race car cried. That's not the interstate. Ow! He slammed into a bunch of traffic cones. Ow! 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 McQueen swerved to avoid the cones and found himself heading straight for a barbed wire fence. No! 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 He burst through the fence, and the wires wrapped around him, and he dragged the fence forward as he plowed past the cafe. I'm not the only one seeing this, right? Fillmore asked as he stared at the out-of-control race car in disbelief. McQueen fishtailed hidden a bunch of oil cans and a stack of tires. Then he ground the gun of Red, the fire truck, into the dirt. He swerved to avoid the statue of the town's founders. Under Stanley. But the barbed wire caught it. For a moment, McQueen was pinned, spinning his wheels in place against the weight of a heavy statue. But then he got into his engine. The statue tipped forward, landing in front of McQueen. Ah! McQueen screamed, driving away, dragging Stanley and the barbed wire fence behind him and ripping up the road. Veering to the side, the statue launched off a flatbed trailer like a water skier. And landed in some telephone wires. McQueen tried to get free, but it was still tangled in the barbed wire with Stanley. Suddenly, Stanley flew backward as if flung from a giant slingshot. Fly away, Stanley, Fillmore called as the statue sailed overhead. Be free. The statue landed back on its pedestal, and McQueen got tangled even more instead of low-hanging telephone on wires. The winded sheriff drove off to McQueen, who was hanging upside down by the poles. Boy, the sheriff said, catching his breath, you're in a heap of trouble. With a sigh, McQueen's engine sputtered to a stop. He had passed out. Chapter 6. When McQueen opened his eyes the next morning, He could hardly make out the blurry shape in front of him. Oh, boy, McQueen said groggily. Where am I? What? McQueen squinted. It took him a moment to figure out what he was looking at. A rusty tow truck staring at him through a chain-link fence. Morning, Sleeping Beauty, the tow truck sang. Boy, I was wondering when you was gonna wake up. McQueen cried, startled. Take me, take whatever you want. Just don't hurt me. He got his engine, but he didn't move. He looked down at his tire. A parking boot! He cried in horror at the metal clamp that pinned him in place. Why do I have a parking boot? Hold on. What's going on here? Please! The tow truck burst into a gap-toothed grin. You're funny, he said. I like you already. My name's Mater. McQueen was so surprised by the strange name that he stopped struggling against his parking booth. Mater? Yeah, like tomato. Yeah, like tomato, the tow truck explained. But without the "t", what's your name? What? Queen asked. Look, I need to get to California as fast as possible. Where am I? Where are you? Mater asked. Shoot, you're in Radiator Springs, the cutest little town in Carburetor County. McQueen looked around. All he could see was a dreary row of boarded-up buildings. It didn't look so cute to him. Oh, great, he said sarcastically. Just great. Well, if you think that's great, Mater said proudly, you should see the rest of the town. McQueen was starting to realize that Mater wasn't the fastest car in the racetrack, which gave him an idea. You know, McQueen said craftily, I'd love to see the rest of the town. So if you could just open the gate, take this boot off, you and me. We go cruising. Check out the local scene, you know. Dad, gum! Mater cried. Cool! He started to open the gate when a shout stopped him in his tracks. Mater! Bellowed the sheriff as he rolled up. What did I tell you about talking to the accused? Mater looked sheepish. 2 not 2. Well, quit your yapping, the sheriff snarled and told his delinquent road answer the traffic court. That's all, folks. I'll see you in the next chapters and this time will be chapters 7 and 8. Alright, YouTubers, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!